Well, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Stock, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Today, I'm not talking to you about new companies to this channel. I'm talking about ones that I've talked about before. However, I believe that each one represents significant opportunity, not only in the near term, because I think it's a really opportune moment where the prices are currently at and where the prices could go sometime relatively soon. So I just want to bring it to your attention. I want to make my case for each of these things. You guys can continue your research and due diligence. See if you see any of the things that I see. I have positions in every one of these companies that I bring to you today, so that way there's full disclosure there. I just think that that the timing is getting right, and that we're going to see these things take off at some point in time. If not in the near term, then we're going to see them over time really happen to capitalize from their position that they're at now up to those higher multiples going forward. So stick around and let's get ready to rock. Welcome back. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like button if you like my videos. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of them. Hit the notification bell if you'd like to see anytime that my videos come out. I'd absolutely love to see you over here. And I absolutely also love the support that you guys have shown. So you can thank me in the comments or say hello in the comments, ask me questions in the comments. Most of my time spent answering question is over at my private Discord, which you can access through my Patreon. That link is down in the description. You can also find my referral links for Moomoo and Webull. You can sign up, deposit your money in those, get your free stocks, and it also gives me free stocks. So we both win through that version of support. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Let's move right on to the stocks. All right, the first stock that we're looking at here is ChargePoint, and ChargePoint has gotten really beaten up ever since we went from Switchback Energy and then the SPAC merger over to ChargePoint, and we were up almost to $50 per share. And then yesterday at the market close, we were down to like $21.23, and then they came out and gave us an upward revision for their sales moving forward into the next quarter. Actually, I believe it was the end of the year. It was like a $30 million upward revision to both the low and high ends for the range that they expect their sales to be in. And so that's something absolutely huge. And if you read the earnings call transcript, I actually have it over here for you. Spoiler alert with the NIO stuff. NIO's coming up. So here, some pretty cool things that we have. They talk about the infrastructure bill and that the Senate is including $7.5 billion to expand charging. And this happens by the voting on that happens by September the 27th. So that date, there's actually two really cool things to happen there. One of them is for ChargePoint for this vote from the House on the infrastructure bill. And then they also talk about the $3.5 trillion framework as well. That's also talking about making the EV goal more attainable. So switching over to full EV by 2030. So moving on from there, they go on to say about their grant writing experience that they have. And the importance there is that if they do an excellent job at writing these grants, they stand to benefit by getting pieces of that infrastructure bill pushed their way. So having that capital sent their way gives them more capital in order to innovate, and it gives them more capital to expand and grow. And so these are things that would be very good for ChargePoint moving forward. So even though we don't find out on the 27th if that happens, what they have absolutely astounding numbers going through here. When you read about the growth that they've experienced and the fact that 2022 is actually where we're supposed to see more of an inflection point, where we're actually supposed to accelerate into the EV movement. So 2021 has been huge growth. 2022 is supposed to be even better, and 2023 carries on that new curve that we're on, moving us up into the next decade. So absolutely awesome. And they also talk about their acquisition and the number of chargers and the revenue growth that they've had. And this is all really good information. This is all, by the way, through Seeking Alpha. I get no money from them. I just happen to be a premium member for them. So I actually pay in order to use it. But I just wanted to show you guys that this is where I'm getting that information from for their earnings call transcript. So for ChargePoint, they recently got a price target, still rated as a buy, but from $39 down to $35 for the 12-month price target. And we can take a look at tip ranks as well. And for whatever reason, I didn't toss that up there. Let's toss that up there. So from tip ranks, last I looked, it was around $35 the average analyst estimate for ChargePoint moving forward. So getting an updated price target of $35 from the most recent analyst, would make a lot of sense for that. So my goodness. I felt like I was on dial-up there. That was taking so long to load. It happens every time that I'm using StreamYard right now. When I do, that streaming capability also is a resource hog, and so it slows down my computer a little bit. But there you go, a 63% upside from its current price right now. Actually, that's going, if that does update and shows us that 24, it's going to be less than that. Um, it's actually more like a 40% increase from where it's currently at in the pre-market hours, about $24 per share. So if we called it 25 and then talking about going $10 up from there, $10 is 40% of $25. So don't look at that upside as that says right now for 63. As of its pre-market trading at around $24 per share, it's more like 40% up, which still is a very significant upside. So we can actually look at that pre-market and see that moving in that way. There we go. Actually, wow, it's actually pushing on closer to $25 per share. So we'll see, because the earnings call came out in the after hours yesterday. If the market's with us today, we could see a little bit more of a push, but we could also see people capitalizing, locking in some profits off of this before it does. So it might drop right at first and then recover from there. Better move on to the next one. The next one that we have for that is Lucid. And we had for the first time that the private investors were able to sell their shares that they had. And man, this dropped it down under $16 per share, almost to $15 per share, before finally settling back to $18 per share. And I did take the opportunity to dollar cost average, as I said I would. If this thing went between $17 and $18 per share, those would be much more attractive prices to me, rather than loading up more at $20 per share. And so I got my opportunity. I wasn't in right at the beginning. Had a little bit of issues with the rainwater from Tropical Storm Ida, I think is what it was rated as, and the power was out. It was raining inside my house. It wasn't a very pretty day yesterday morning. However, we recovered from it. We'll be okay. And for those of people, especially in New York City, I saw that there was a lot of flooding, and anywhere else that there's significant flooding. My heart goes out to all of you. And we got off easy. It was just a power issue and just a little bit of water issue. Luckily, I'm up on a mountain. But for people who aren't so lucky, like, my thoughts are with you. Moving on from there. So for Lucid, that private investor ability to sell isn't the only downward pressure that we have. We also have the fact that if Lucid wants to, they can call for a warrant redemption, which would cause further share dilution and could push the stock value down. They haven't done that, and we don't know when they plan to do that. But if they ever want to do another capital raise, they can do that through the warrants at $11.50 per share. So that does a decent amount to dilute what we have. And then also on top of that, tends to drop the stock price too. So we want to watch out for that. Now, I did say that this was actually sort of an opportune time while the price is down like it is. If I go over to this tab here, we said it says, "Dear Lucid stock fans, there's another catalyst coming on September the 22nd. I'm sorry, 27th." There we go. And that's their AMP1 that they have coming up, where they're actually going to show off their production facility, and they're going to have people doing different test drives and stuff. So what we want to see is how this affects Lucid moving forward. Will they get more orders as a result of it? What sort of number of deliveries can we expect? When can we expect those? So hopefully in that 27th, and it's a week-long event, so starting September the 27th, that we actually get a date on when the Lucid Air finally hits production. I'm so excited as a Lucid fan. When it does hit production, I think that that's going to be a big pump from where we're at right now. Now, with the private investor sales and with that whole warrant redemption thing looming over people's minds and kind of being fresh in our hearts, that could be something that could be a little bit painful and could mitigate some of that hype a little bit. But still, going up 50% from here, from, we'll call it $18 per share, so another 9 would be 27. That could be about where we peak. So rather than the 30 that I was talking about before, maybe pulling that back just a little bit to about 27, actually 25 to 27, I think would be a really comfortable range if we really get a good amount of hype leading up to this. So we could have that buy the rumor leading up to the 27th. We could also have catalysts throughout that week where we actually get those solid dates and we get delivery updates on that. We get production number updates on that, where we hear more about the demand for their vehicles and how much they believe that they'll be able to produce. There's just a lot of really good news for Lucid moving forward with that. So I think that they're going to grow as a company over time. And I think that the private investor sales putting downward pressure on this, and the fear of warrant redemption is something that, when it finally does happen, we rip off that Band-Aid, that's going to cause some serious buying opportunities, because after that, there should be no big downward pressure coming for Lucid, at least as far as share dilution goes. It would be more up to the company to fulfill their promises and to really build out what we expect from Lucid Motors moving forward. So that's the near-term catalyst that I see, and I think that the prices now are much better than they were. I didn't go for broke on this one and put all my money in it. I just bought a really tiny position on top of what I already had to bring my cost basis down a little bit. And I think that these prices that we're seeing right now to buy $18 a share are actually pretty attractive. And then one more for you, and this is an interesting one. I'm actually really kind of excited about this one. Now, NIO took it on the chin as far as deliveries go. They had a second, we'll call it small disappointment as far as their numbers go. And you can see for their deliveries that really dropped them in the short term, but they rallied strongly back up to almost $40 per share. Now, I have my own reason why I think that this is happening. And I also think that we're going to be strongly into the 40s by I'm going to say October the 1st, as we start to digest more and more of this information. So if we go over here, and this is important. So I know that some other companies like Li and Xpeng are mentioned on here, but they delivered, we'll call it 6,000 vehicles in August, which, woof, compared to what they had in June, which was like 8,000. They're down 25% from that. And then, they almost hit in July what they did in June, but again, they fell short from that. The interesting thing, though, we'll call this 6,000. We'll call this 8,000. 6 plus 8 is 14. So 14,000 vehicles between July and August. And they changed that. They gave us a downward revision on the estimate that they have for their vehicles, but 14,000 to go to 22,500, just to the low number in their range that they gave us. That's 8,500 NIOs delivered in the month of September. That's the low one. The most they've ever delivered, I think I have it over here, was in June. And there you go. That was 8,000 vehicles. So that's another, let me see, 8 times 6. What's that? 6% up from where they were at before in June. So into September. So September should be a stronger month than June was. So even though that doesn't really put us back on the same growth trajectory because of the chip shortage that we have, really mitigating that, there's a lot of potential coming out of here that there is going to be growth over what they had in June. So July wasn't great. August was worse, but they're expecting September, according to their estimates, that's at least 8,500 NIOs that they're expecting. Now, if it goes up to the high end of that, the high end of that is 1,000 more. So that's 8,500 to 9,500 NIOs. If we hit the high end of that, I think that we're much better put back on that path that we were at in June. So that means not only would we have a record-setting month for deliveries for NIO, but we would also have a record-setting quarter for deliveries for NIO, because they just set a record-setting quarter when the June deliveries came out, and that was less than 22,000. I believe it is that number over here. It is. So less than 22,000. So that was the record-setting quarter for them. And June was a record-setting month for them. So from these numbers that I see and from the estimates that they give, September and Q3 should both be record-setting in terms of deliveries for NIO. I think that's pretty cool, and I think that's why the price recovered the way it did. And I think as more people realize that, and especially if they're able to fall in between or even fall at the high end of those estimates, even if they hit the low end of those estimates, people are going to see record setting, and they're going to have a little bit more confidence, a little bit more faith in NIO again, and their ability to navigate through the chip shortage. And don't forget, 2022 is still expected to be a really, really great year, not only for EVs, but for NIO as well. So this is the price action that we see, and they've been down as low recently as, like, we'll just call it $36 per share, and now they're up closer to $40 per share. And I think as we start to digest this information, and as China starts to kind of recover from where they're at, I think we're going to see this pop back up into the 40s in no time. We could possibly close 2021 at around $50 per share, and then over the next several months into 2022, we could even be put into that $50 to $60 range moving forward from here. So I still think that there's some excellent potential to be had with NIO. All right, so I better wrap this up for you guys. So let me bring that away so you can see I'm having an okay hair day. I got my high school cross country shirt on. This thing is, well, it's September, so let me see, this is 2000, so it's 21 years old this month. So happy birthday t-shirt. And I better summarize ChargePoint. I think that ChargePoint is really going to start impressing us with some of the numbers that they put out. And we just want to keep those growth numbers in mind and keep watching them and to be impressed by them. 2022 should be very strong. 2023 should be even stronger. So we'll just watch those play out over time, and hopefully we keep on getting those sort of upward revisions that move them in the after hours and in the pre-market this morning. And then Lucid, yes, they have some headwinds that are mitigating their price performance. One was the sale from the private investors. The fear of warrant redemption is another thing that's going to sort of mitigate the results. But we could have a decent run up in the short term leading up to AMP1, where they show us the production facility, where more people get to test drive, and hopefully they give us some dates on production of Lucid Air. And if it's sooner than we expect, like if they're like, yes, October, here you go, that would be awesome. If it's later than they expect by pushing that date back, that could be something that would be seen as a negative and take away from the price action in their stock moving forward. Overall, I think they're going to be a company that experiences enormous success, and I think there's going to be a lot of demand for their vehicles, and that's why I continue to dollar cost average with them. NIO, same thing, and don't forget with NIO, record-setting month, record-setting quarter. If everything plays out in September according to the numbers that they've given us, we should have records for both. And then hopefully they give us really good Q4 guidance to close up 2021, and maybe even some positive outlook, some really good news for 2022 moving forward from there. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget about those referral links for Moomoo, 4 free stocks valued up to 3,500. The GM stock is still out there. Webull, 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 just by signing up and doing your deposit. And then finally, Patreon, if you want to see more of what I have to offer, that link is also down there. Go on over, sign up. You can meet me in the private Discord. You can talk to the members that are also over there. It's a really awesome community. It's small. However, it's still very supportive, and there's very excited members over there. And we talk stocks and different ideas and throw them around all the time. And I think it's just, I'm really happy to be a part of it, and I think that you would too if that sort of thing sounds good to you. My weekly newsletters over there, my weekly watch list, my portfolios are over there, and I also put my buy and sell alerts over there as well. And so come on over, check it out, and I hope to see you over there. Last thing, like button, subscribe, notification bell, nice, easy, free ways that are very simple to show your support for this channel. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.